Hi, I'm Ruth Martin, and I'm going to read to you from my sample translation of Isidor by Shelly Kupferberg, which you can find in full on the New Books in German website. You can read a little bit about the book and the author below this video, but by way of introduction, I just want to read the first few sentences of the book, which introduces us to the eponymous Isidor, because it's just such a great opening. My great-great-uncle was a dandy. His name was Isidor, or Innocenz, or Ignaz. But actually he was called Israel. This name, however, gave too much away. Hence Isidor, or Innocenz, or Ignaz. He was an upstart, an eccentric, a parvenu, a multimillionaire, occasionally a con artist, a man of action and of the world. He was headstrong and proud. How else to explain his rise from the furthest impoverished corner of eastern Galicia all the way to the imperial and royal metropolis of Vienna, to become a councillor of commerce and economic advisor to the Austrian state? So the extract that I'm going to read comes from near the start of the book. The author has just been talking about her Austrian grandfather, Walter, who emigrated to Israel in 1938 when the Nazis annexed Austria. And then she says this: I am searching for answers, trying to reconstruct this life. Everything that our grandfather told us about growing up in Vienna, escaping from the Nazis, the pain and the anger, how they grieved for those who didn't manage to save themselves, all the anecdotes about relatives, the stories both large and small. I'm trying to piece them all together and embarking on the search for evidence from that time. And as I search, I keep coming across him, the glittering Uncle Isidor, a bon vivant who, according to family legend, never married and had no children. Little remains of him now. Only a large case of silver cutlery, enough sets for 24 people. Who might once have held that lavishly decorated, heavy cutlery in their hands? Uncle Isidor's regular banquets were a Viennese institution. The cutlery is a silent witness to the upper-class aspirations of a man who was convinced that no harm could come to him in the midst of good Viennese society. The more I look into my great-great-uncle, the more fragments and scraps of information I found about him in all kinds of archives, the clearer my image becomes of an unusual personality and his seemingly unstoppable rise to power. I assemble one piece of the puzzle after another. My grandfather's stories, files, photos, old documents and family letters from the 1910s, 20s, 30s and 40s. I go in search of his estate, and in the archives, at least on paper, I find it. Art, a sprawling library, sumptuous interior decor, valuables, a lot of things that were looted by the Nazis, and 2 wedding rings. So did Uncle Isidor marry, after all? Or could these rings have been family heirlooms? In the course of my research, a few small objects hold larger surprises for me. And stories, a whole wealth of stories.